What the is going on?
I like to party.
Jesus, honey, wax much?
From Podcast One, this is Unwaxed.
Get in, loser.
Hello, everybody, and
Sophia
welcome
and
back
Sistine
to
Stallone.
our
We just become best
podcast
friends,
Unwaxed with your favorite sisters, Sophia and
Sistine Stallone. If you guys are watching the video version, you will see that we are not together. For the first time in 26 freaking episodes, Sophia and I aren't sitting next to each other. We're in separate rooms.
We are in separate rooms, separate places, and if you guys can hear from my voice, no, I'm okay, but I do have a massive cold, and I don't want to give it to Sistine. And also, it's kind of hard to shoot a podcast next to each other when we don't really have like proper microphones. Remember, you guys were in Florida, so it is a bit harder to record this, but it is kind of weird. You're like right over there, so it's not terrible.
I know.
But...
I'm looking out the window and I can see you. It's just so weird. Hi, Sophia.
Hi.
Okay. Lots of exciting things coming up, you guys. For one, Valentine's Day, even though when this releases, it would have already happened.
Day would have happened. It would have happened this Sunday, which I think is a very romantic day for it to happen on, a Sunday.
A Sunday? It is
Right,
kind of
yeah.
moody, huh?
I know.
Well,
is that the ambiance? Oh, we don't know.
Another year of being single on Valentine's Day.
Have you ever had a Valentine's?
No.
No?
It's so strange. My relationships never lined up to where it would fall on Valentine's Day.
Interesting. So every time you were dating someone, it would probably fall through before, or you were starting to see someone.
But I do have a tradition how I spend my Valentine's Day.
How?
I watched that horrible movie, Valentine's Day, with just about every actor.
Oh, you know,
Like,
is this the one that has like New Year's Eve and then?
Like it has Taylor Swift. Like it just has the most random people.
Yeah.
It's such a bad film, but I love all the celebrity cameos. So that's how I spend my Valentine's Day.
I think that's how we're going to spend it this year too. We don't have Valentine's.
Yeah.
Were you guys surprised?
I did buy us a bottle of champagne yesterday.
Did you?
I did.
Aww.
To celebrate.
You'll be my Valentine. I think Valentine's Day is slightly overrated.
You know what's funny? I was actually on Reddit the other. We're a little bitter, but I was actually on Reddit the other day because I just like to read people's horror stories, people's bad dates. So I just typed in Valentine's Day.
Because it makes you feel better.
Right. And so I just typed in Valentine's Day to see what come up. I go, surely people are triggered by this holiday. There has to be something good. And you won't believe someone put a link to this article. And I thought it was so funny. I have to read you the headline. It says, cockroaches and other obnoxious Valentine's Day gifts for your ex. So listen how petty. Listen to the level of pettiness that I so appreciate. I think it is so funny. So it says, if you're heartbroken this Valentine's Day, you could be the bigger person and avoid sending your ex an unsolicited gag gift. But this is where this is me. If you decide to not take the higher road this year, there are plenty of options to choose from. Okay.
What are the options?
But this one was my favorite one. I'll just read one of them.
Okay.
For $5 at the San Antonio Zoo, you can name a cockroach after your former significant other and feed it to a bird, reptile, or mammal.
Oh
my God.
The level of pettiness.
Are we ready? For $20 more, which I think is a good penny, you can even have the zookeepers feed a frozen rat to a reptile. If that's too intense, they have $5 options. Yeah. You could decorate a litter box.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. I mean, wait, these are really smart.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
People with broken hearts are really creative.
I know.
Right? Think about it. Like, I would have never thought of that. So if you guys ever have a broken heart, now Sistina's giving you the proper information to fully have a cockroach or a frozen bug or whatever you said. I wanted speaking of just horrible situations, Sistine and I are, things just happen to us. We're never like the first ones to know about something. And this is one of the scenarios where Florida released a statement saying that like the water was contaminated and you should avoid drinking it at all costs. Like
even showering in it isn't good for you.
Yeah, like you need to close your mouth. Like at a certain point they're gonna fix it, but I think someone was messing around with it. Did we know? Of course not. Of course not. So you know what I'm downing tap water by the glass. We are water people. We are chugging this thing. And when I say that I was chugging it in front of one of my friends, and he was like, you know, you're supposed to not drink that.
Well, you left out a part. We've been feeling so queasy for days.
Yes.
And by the way, I'd like to mention, this is the second time on the podcast that I've mentioned my version of Montezuma's Revenge. Why do I talk about shit so much? I'm so sorry.
I don't know.
So sorry.
I don't know, but welcome to the show. No, my stomach and our stomachs were so funky for so long. And of course, we had no idea we're drinking for 3 days. And finally, it's been probably like a week and it's feeling better. Finally, a bit. So, you know.
Idiot. Just Dumb and Dumber over here, drinking some poisonous ass water.
Without any note in the world.
We're freaking flowing like the Nile River. It is a mess and a half, to say the fucking least. We're okay.
Perfect for our dating life. This is perfect.
We're okay. Yeah. Is this why we're single on Valentine's Day?
Absolutely.
I'm sorry if you don't find poop funny or a fart joke funny.
Yeah. Doo-doo.
You're too cool for me, I guess.
Have you seen the show? Have you seen the episode of Friends with Chandler when he's about to do a job interview and the guy goes, "You have to doo-doo it," and he starts cracking? It's so stupid, but like the whole point. Well, it's just like the whole point is that, but like poop is funny. Get over yourselves.
Get over yourself. On that note, let's transition to this great segment from the poop joke to this. So Sophia and I were talking about what we want to start doing more on the show. And we feel like we tell a lot of funny stories and we tell what we're doing in our day-to-day lives. We really want to be more open. And maybe you guys are like, no, you're open enough. We are okay.
You literally just talked about poop. Stop being so open.
Sorry. Sophia and I definitely want to dive more into our personal experiences, what we deal with on a struggle day-to-day basis, share stories, what we've gone through, and sort of how we're dealing with it. Because I think a lot of people hopefully can take a note out of it. I mean, obviously we're not experts, but we've gone through it like you guys. And I don't know. I just want to open up the conversation again, because I think a podcast is fun when you can do a balance of silly and goofy and take something informational out of it.
Yes.
What do you think, Sophia?
I completely agree. And I think Sistine and I, although we have nothing figured out, we definitely do have some good tidbits of wisdom. We don't take our own advice. That's for sure. Like, you're going to hear this advice. No. Do we put it to fruition? No. But no. But I remember we did something about Friends and people really liked that. And when people tell us they like something, we really want to run with it. So today we're running with it. We grabbed the bag and we're going to dive headfirst into it.
On that note as well, I want to say most of the segments that we come up with and talk about is driven by you guys. So we listen to your questions and we read your DMs. So if you want to share a story with Sophia and I, if you want to, and it doesn't have to, we don't have to put it on the show, or if you'd like us to put it on the show, we could talk about it anonymously, of course. Please let us know, because we love just connecting with you guys. So make sure you go to the Apple Podcast page, write a review, leave your questions and comments in there. That is the only place we'll read it. Sorry, do not DM us.
And if it's a 4-star, we're not looking at it.
Yeah, just give it 5 stars.
5 stars. Come on.
It doesn't hurt to give it 5 stars.
Does not hurt. So one of the biggest things that I think is so necessary to talk about, because I think everyone goes through this, is self-esteem. Mm-hmm. And growing up, I know Sistine and I were really lucky because our parents really enforced us to have a high self-esteem. They were always trying to make us the most confident person by giving us compliments or encouraging us to go at it and do whatever we want, and really giving us that confidence. But the thing is that it's not always easy, and it's easier said than done. And all we want is to have that natural ability to walk into a room and just be that attraction to people.
Yeah, but it's definitely not something that people are just born with. You know what I mean? I feel like self-esteem is something that really needs to be nourished and taught, and it involves a lot of self-love and a lot of practice. And I think where your self-esteem comes from, obviously, maybe not obviously, but for me at least, definitely stems with insecurity. Because, I mean, what do you think? Do you think it comes from insecurity? Low self-esteem?
I think it comes from insecurity. I think it comes from our negative self-thoughts. I think we are trained to think like that, because I know there's so many times in my life where growing up, I would think something that I was doing was really cool. That I was like, oh, I was, let's just say, Bionics. We used to like make Legos. Do you remember Bionics?
Sophia and I used to, if you guys know Bionics, we used to build Bionics without the instructions. We were so
daily.
Good.
Oh no, we were
Daily.
so good. So I used to think that was super cool. And I remember this one moment where I told this girl in elementary school that I did it, and she looked at me like I was wearing a big balloon man suit with like 4 eyes, and I was insane. And so I kind of felt insecure telling anybody about it. And so my self-esteem lowered.
It definitely, I think, is linked to being a people pleaser. Because I know Sophia and I have such a bad habit of this. We'll walk into a room and try to make everyone like us, when at the end of the day, that is simply impossible. For example, we'll go on a date, right? And I'll try to dress for what the person thinks, or I'll try to dress how they would find me attractive, or I'll try to dress to not stand out or feel
you want to appease them. You want to make them feel like you want their validation to make you feel like, oh, I'm pretty.
Right. But at the end of the day, you're walking into this restaurant, you're feeling all anxious, like, oh my God, my hair isn't high enough. Someone's going to notice that my shoes were the wrong color, or my nail polish is chipped, just dumb shit. But at the end of the day, people,
no one
sitting
cares.
In a restaurant, they're just trying to eat their meal. They don't care.
No. And the thing about self-esteem, and I know Sistine and I both, like, we have this conversation all the time. Like, we actually have to hype each other up all the time. I think people assume that when we walk into a room, we have it and we figured it out. We're faking it, honey. We're not 24/7 walking in feeling like $100, like feeling the hottest thing ever.
Caring about other people's happiness, therefore putting your feelings aside, you will never, ever be happy with yourself.
Never.
Because people can see that too. And then people might even start to take advantage of that.
That's the key point. The moment you let your self-esteem go, the moment you think you are less than, is when everyone takes advantage of you. And then that's when you get yourself into shitty relationships, shitty friendships, a toxic relationship with yourself. And that just becomes a wheelhouse full of just negativity. And the only way to get off it is if you just curse part of my French, but fucking own it. You are who you are. Like I look at Sistine when we used to model. There were days where she would wear an outfit and she just looks bomb. I mean, Sistine has that model body. Like, she looks great in clothing. You do.
No.
Shut up. Stop. But I remember my self-esteem when I put on the clothes, I was like, oh God, I look like a sack of potatoes here.
Yeah, I looked at Sophia wishing I had that body, and she looked at me wishing she had mine. So you'll never
know. But the point of it was that on camera, it translated so poorly. Like, my smile was awkward, my body was awkward, like I couldn't just get into it, like I wasn't feeling myself. And I think that's the key to everything, is where when you really believe that you are who you are, who cares, I have high self-esteem, I deserve what I want, and I'm gonna go get it, everyone else is gonna come around you that wants the same thing, the right people. And it's like, I wish I was at those moments when I was at those photo shoots going like, I'm gonna own it, like I have boobs, I have butt, like I'm not gonna.
But here's here's the thing, like, looking back and hearing what you just said, I wish I could have told you this now back then, right? I wish I could have said, don't be so self-focused, right? Don't be so self-focused, because we are obviously viewing the world from our point of view. We're viewing it from us. So everything that we experience is our conversations, our old relationships, our history, the way that we feel when we put on clothes, like everything is through us, right? No one else can have that experience. So if it's really easy to become self-focused, but had you just, erased those thoughts and took away the installing of your insecurities, you would have put so much self-doubt on you. Like, you are more than capable of being there and owning it. And when you own it, people believe, oh shit, she's killing it.
Also, why waste your time with these thoughts? Like, I get mad at myself for thinking, why did I freak out this entire day about something I wore, something I did, what I said, because someone else may have thought, oh, that was a little off? Who gives a shit? Also, why would I do that?
But that's what makes you so likable at the end of the day. The choices that you make, the weird clothing picks that you decide to wear that night. it's what makes you you. If you were dressing for everyone else, no one wants everyone else.
No one
That's
wants
what
everyone
makes
else.
you attractive and unique and an individual. So I'm happy that we're figuring this out now at 22 and 24 years old. But I went out yesterday, I went to dinner, and I had these same thoughts. I mean, I still don't have it figured out all the time, but I can tell you when I check myself and I stop myself from feeling this way, my confidence, you guys, it skyrockets. Please try it. Like literally look in the mirror. If you're nervous about how someone else is going to view your jacket tonight, just say, fuck it, I like my jacket. And I promise you, you'll walk in with a glow around you. It sounds so stupid, but it really works. These minor things work.
This is what I want someone to do. If you really care about what you're wearing and what people are thinking around you, go into a restaurant, wear a certain jacket, right? Leave, come back a week later. Let's see if those people actually remembered what you wore that night.
Yeah.
No one cares. No one around you.
It's all about, with not even just clothes, with everything you do, it's all about trusting your gut, trusting your instinct, and trust the choices that you make. Because, you know, trust in that last risky text that you sent. Trust in all of those little things, because the second that you think and you start to tell yourself, I made the right choice for me, you won't second guess any of the decisions that you made. Therefore, you'll feel confident about it. Therefore, it'll build your self-esteem, baby. Yeah. Yeah.
So we do have some tips and tricks to get this, because it is not something you get in one day and you have it for life. It is a tool. It is practice. You have to reinforce it all the time, because you don't feel hot every day.
Sophia and I have separate, different methods of how we, just little things that help us, right? So yeah, I guess we'll say what each of us do.
Yeah. So one, I'm a big quote person, word person. So I will go on my phone and I'll like find some words of affirmation. I will repeat things in my head. I'll say some mantras before I go out. Anything to just kind of hype me up. I don't know, like, or listen to some music.
Are you more of an audio person, you need to hear it, or do you like to visualize and see it?
I'm more of a visual learner, but at the same time, if you put on Promiscuous Girl, I will be ready to go. But I'm just saying, anything that kind of gets me in like, all right, feeling myself mode, I'm good. What about you?
It sounds so stupid, but I actually talk to myself in the mirror. It sounds so dumb, but it'll look something like this. Sistine, you look good. You feel good. You've been working out. You've been eating right. You're at your prime. You're a prime piece of steak, baby. Yeah. Go out there and get it. Drown yourself in that A1 sauce. That's exactly what I tell myself. No, I don't actually tell myself that. No, I think that like looking at yourself in the mirror and saying things that you're almost scared to say about yourself or don't hear from other people, that's really important.
And you know, also, I just had a thought about, you don't have to think you're perfect. And there are things that I know that I'm like, okay, I need to change about myself, or I need to like maybe fix. Also, you have a little guest in the background.
Mabel!
Oh my God, the cat just came in. What I was going to say is that there are things that you know that you can recognize, probably you want to work on. So first and foremost, own your body, own who you are right at that moment. Then I will go down and I'll write down things. I'm like, okay, I want to improve this. I want my butt to be perkier. I want to eat healthier. I want to not be so negative with my thoughts. And I will continuously work throughout that week and identify them, be like, okay, I'm not going to do that today.
So you make a checklist.
I make a checklist. And it's not, and I know people are like, oh, maybe that you're reinforcing the bad things you don't like about yourself. But I think it's important to recognize what you are insecure about and learn how to grow it, fix it, or at least own it, or at least change your thought patterns.
Because you don't have to live with feeling this way all the time.
No.
At the end of the day, it's a choice. And it's such a hard hump to get over, because I remember I was in a dark place 2 years ago, and I felt like just a pile of garbage, to be quite frank. I felt terrible, and I didn't want to get out of bed till 3 p.m. And it was a choice, and I put myself there. I surrounded myself with people that put me there, And getting yourself out of that hole is possible.
It is possible.
It's so possible.
You can
and
also change your thoughts about it too. Like, I used to not like the way maybe my stomach looked in a bikini, for example. And I was like always so hard on it all the time. My thoughts were going back to it. And anytime I wore it, I was like, oh my God, this is embarrassing. Everyone's looking. I've had to seriously write this down and be like, okay, I'm going to consciously not look in the mirror for like 40 seconds and think, it's not perfect. It's not perfect. It's not perfect. And just go outside and enjoy my day.
What if you started to say, if you're like, okay, I don't like my stomach. What if you changed the dialogue that you use so it wasn't so harsh on yourself? You know what I mean?
Just change it and be like, I love it. I love it. And then, by the way, there was, this woman, this is actually a really interesting advice this woman gave me a long time ago. She was, I think, honestly, I was like young. I was like 15. But I was looking at my dress. I forgot, I was at one of the events with mom and dad. And I was like, oh, my dress is ugly. I was in the bathroom and she came up to me and she goes, I'm going to tell you a life lesson that I've learned. And I've been married for 40 years. You see these legs? And her legs were like, she's older. So it's not like the 20-year-old legs, but she has nice legs. She goes, I tell my husband every day how hot my legs are. And do you know what he thinks? I have the hottest legs in the world. And so and she laughed and she told me that, and I never forgot it because I was like, that's true. If you are telling your significant other or yourself constantly, day after day, that something on your body or something about you is not right, you are going to believe it's not right. If you are saying, my stomach is the hottest fucking stomach ever, and I look great, you are going to believe it.
Not even body. Even your brain. I am so smart. I'm a fast reader.
I'm a dork. I'm like, but like, okay, who cares? I'm a dork. That's fun. Other dorks join me.
At the end of the day, my mom always told us about self-esteem. She's like, just don't give a fuck.
Literally.
Let it go. Just let it go.
Let it go.
You guys, the minutiae things that you worry about, I promise you, in a week, you won't even remember the things that you were stressing out about so much.
Nope.
So that's the most important. When you find yourself sort of in this rabbit hole, you're like obsessing over things that, you know, you feel this way and you feel scared and you feel small. It's like, walk into your room, puff your chest out, talk in the mirror, just try little things. Just try it. It can always get better. Things can always get better.
I liked that. Not really. Okay, I was just trying to be nice.
You didn't like it?
No, I'm trying to lower your self-esteem. Horrible singing voice.
I thought you meant the segment, not the singing.
No, I meant the singing.
Really
the segment was sweet.
Oh my God.
I want to actually bring this up, and I think this is going to be very fun for people to listen to, and I think you might get some good advice from it. So, Sistine and I, we're sisters. We live 24/7 together. I know. Oh, if you haven't figured that out now, problem. But we're sisters. We live on top of each other. We pretty much look the same. We have different personalities, and that can lead to fighting. And when I say fighting, yes, Sistine and I have fought. We have kicked, we have screamed, we have slammed doors, we have done everything that sisters normally do in a fight. Maybe you guys
101, Sister 101.
Sister 101. We're not perfect. I'm never going to act like, and we're never on this show ever going to act like we are perfect and we have it all figured out and we are the bestest friends 24/7. She is my best friend. But sometimes she wants to kill me and I want to kill her.
All the time.
That's the fact. If you're staying with someone for all like 24/7, you want to punch them sometimes. But obviously,
I think it'd be really interesting to talk about sister fights and family dynamics, because we also got quite a few questions about fighting with your relatives and how sticky and messy it could be. And you know, it's for example, Sophia and I, what was the last fight we got into, would you say? Maybe like a week ago?
Yeah, probably a week ago. Oh, you know what? It was about like business, probably. Like we were like freaking
business related. That's definitely where most of our fights come from, because just very different approaches about everything. Just
Everything.
very different. And it ended up being a huge, one of the big ones, you know, one of the screaming, having to separate for 30 minutes just to decompress.
And it wasn't just us two, it was all three of us. It was
they all got roped in. Even Jennifer got roped in. Oh my God, the cat in the background is very
distracting you.
Very distracting.
No, because like I think day to day we'll have like mini bicker things, but it's not like, it's just whatever. We're so used to it now, it kind of flies over our head. But this was like a genuine fight last week.
Yes. Yeah.
And it got really bad. Like we all had to take walks. Some people were crying, some people were screaming. It was just like World War III at its finest. But that's normally what it is. Like whenever we fight, it's also usually 2 against 1. It's never
I know, it's so unfair.
It's so unfair. That's like the one problem about having 3 sisters.
And the funniest thing about us fighting too is normally Sophia and I will be fighting. Not so much me and Scarlett or Scarlett and Sophia. Scarlett's normally the middleman, but I think it's because we're so close. I think
Scarlett equally argues with both of us.
Right, but so this is how you win a Stallone sister fight. Say if we're debating, Scarlett will walk in the room, we'll maybe hear about 14 seconds of the fight, and then just walk towards the sister and like take her stand and say,
"It's the
Sophia,
worst.
You're wrong."
Scarlett also always goes on your side.
No, she doesn't. She went on your side the other night.
Yeah, because that was a rare occasion, and you know that.
So she did go on your side, but the second Scarlett goes on your side, you've lost. There's nothing you can do because there are 2 voice boxes against 1. You're done.
And even if maybe you're potentially right, you're totally wrong. It's like that's the problem with it. It's like maybe if they're wrong and you're right, or vice versa. You just never know. But it's funny, because we have totally different fighting tactics.
Oh my God.
Totally different. Like
I think it stems from childhood.
How is yours? I know yours, but explain yours.
When we were children and we would fight, we would wrestle a lot. And Sophia was much stronger than me. I was like a skinny string bean, scary looking kid. It was very much like a slender man, if you will. And Sophia could easily just wrestle me down and like she'd pin me down and say like, blah, 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 you're wrong. And I couldn't fight her back. She was much stronger than me. But I was able to break her down with my words.
Yeah.
See, that's where she gets. I feel like that translates to how we fight today.
But not really. No, really? I think I'm different now. And I was going to say, I did used to do that. I used to be very much the screaming, and I still do. I will say my energy level will go from like when I get into a fight, 0 to 100. Like my anxiety goes up, everything goes up, like full blast, full anthem.
But you'll scream until you win.
Yes, I will scream until I win. But I also have realized that I've done this about myself where I'll do that and then suddenly flip and drop and go,
yeah, you do. Like a light switch. Like, it's crazy.
Like a light switch.
God.
This is my personality with a lot of things, like with dating, with guys, with friendships. I'm very much a person. I will be so passionate, so angry, so argumentative, and then I will shut it off. And I can shut it off. My tears have sucked back into my eyes. My face is neutral. It's very interesting.
You'll be screaming like crazy, right? Say if you're fighting with dad. Crazy yelling at each other. I'll come in. Why are you guys even yelling at each other? This is stupid. Resolve it. You'll walk back in 5 seconds later. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't want to fight anymore. And you'll be fine. For me, if I get in a crazy screaming fight with someone, I literally have to go to my room, like look in the bathroom mirror and just cry. I literally just like, fuck, like, because I'm a crying cancer. I hate confrontation, and I hate other people being upset with me so much that I need like an hour.
You do need
Scarlett
an hour.
needs like 24 hours.
Oh, Scarlett is like, she wallows for like ever, and we're like, oh my God, get over it. No, but that's the one good thing about us, is that we fight, but we get over it. The longest I think we've ever actually were mad at each other were maybe like 6 hours, like if anything.
What do you think what do you think the dumbest fight we recently got in was?
Honestly, I think it was over that text message with that girl.
No,
in the kitchen.
I got a better one.
Which one?
We got in a fight over a pack of gum.
Oh my
A pack of
God.
gum.
A
You
pack of
guys,
gum.
a pack of fucking Take 5 gum.
Yeah. You guys were making fun of me.
You guys. Okay, well, it's not my fault. I'm not gonna make you sound bad. But Sophia loves gum, right?
I do
And
love gum.
we had a gum shortage in the house. Sophia will eat like 6 to 7 or 9 pieces in one chewing. So your pack is gone. If you ever see Sophia on the street, never offer her gum because she will eat it all.
It's
Okay?
okay. I have like 8 in my bag.
So Scarlett goes to the market, buys 1 pack. I think she did it on purpose just to rile us up.
She
really.
did just, yeah.
She just did it on purpose. Buys 1 pack, and she hides it from all of us. But I find it, and I pulled it up, and Sophia goes, "Give me a piece of gum," and we go, "No!" And we're running away. We're throwing at each other. What started off as a joke got actually serious. We were like, "Oh wait." Wait, we're fighting about gum now? What's happening?
Yeah, I got so bitter. I think I honestly, I do admit that I was being so sensitive. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I thought you guys were
Finally.
making fun of me, and
Live
I
on
just
the
took it
show.
so personally. Sometimes I feel, I don't feel like this all the time, but sometimes when it comes like sister things, I always feel like people are thinking like, I don't know. I feel like you two have a plan. Sometimes I'm like, oh, are they trying to like mess with me?
No.
I know that's how
See,
I felt about
that's why fighting with family, it's so stupid. And let's sort of circle back to the point of why we even brought this up
yeah.
and why it's important to sort of move on and pick and choose your battles.
You guys move
Because-
on.
Move on. At the end
Move
of the day,
on.
I look at Sophia and Scarlett, they're my best friends for life. My mom always told us, you're going to have tons of girlfriends. You're going to meet in college and high school, in your job. And when you even have a baby, you're going to have a new group of mom friends. So, but there'll be no one in your life like your sister. Best friend for life. You have a built-in best friend.
Mm-hmm. I can't imagine,
Mabel.
honestly. I genuinely can't imagine if I didn't have these two in my life, because there's been so many scenarios with friends and boys and things where honestly I needed the tough, oh.
The cat is in the frame.
Yeah,
God.
there's so many times you are going to turn to your family for that honest opinion, that support, because I know at rock bottom these people will be there. And so I feel like we have that ingrained in our brain. And so taking it back about the fighting and our fighting styles and how we resolve it is, when we fight, normally we will yell. We're all very, very big personalities too, as you can tell. Very loud. We do not like to back down. We will separate, give each other space, give each other an hour, be in totally different rooms, go on a walk, go on a drive, all that stuff. Think about, but on your end, while you're gone, think about the fight and how important it is to keep it going. Like, is it really, like when you get home, are you going to bring it back? Are you going to keep it going? Is this going to go all night? Or are you going to come back and just go, okay, this was dumb. I'm annoyed about it, but let's move on. I don't feel like arguing about it.
And we're not talking about argues about pieces of gum. I mean,
No.
Every family has gone through their stuff. There's serious shit, but it's all about coming out of it together. And I think that is so important at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you guys have there's no one in your life like a family member. No one.
And
So
also, I
treat
think
them
that,
well.
but I think it's also important to listen to the other side. I think you need to be open when you get back to the house. Sistine and I have to sit down and go, okay, I was feeling this way because of X, Y, and Z. And Sistine's like, well, I was feeling this way about X, Y, and Z. And if you guys can't come to a middle ground, then go, okay, I understand you. You understand me. This is the way I work. This is the way you work. Let's move on and let's just not ruin our day. Because it's like, not worth it. And you know, Sistine and I are here, we're saying we fight, we do it all the time, we probably will in the next couple of days, and we're gonna do exactly
probably
this.
fight right after the Zoom call.
Maybe we'll probably argue about how the setup is right now, or if it's like,
what should we fight about?
The fact that you have to take care of the dogs. I've been hanging out with the dogs all morning, so
well, maybe I'll fight with you about how we look sort of matching right now.
Do we? Oh yeah. Honestly,
Three people told us we looked like twins last week.
I don't think we look like twins at all.
All right, make a twin face.
I'm trying to do your face.
Nah.
Nah, this doesn't work. And we are back with another segment of Unsolicited Advice. You guys,
can I have a moment?
I was gonna
say, can I be part of the jingle? You always start the jingle.
Go.
From your sisters.
Okay. Sophia and Sistine and Mabel, the cat. Okay, so guys, remember, once again, if you want us to answer your questions, please go on to Apple Podcasts, send us that 5-star, send us that review, and we will answer it on the show. So
also follow our Instagram and our YouTube people.
Yeah, you guys, our Instagram, we upload really good content. And by the way, we do it all ourselves. Just letting you all know. Everything, every edit, every post, every caption.
We see it all.
We see
everything.
So today we have Courtney from New York, and she wrote.
Hey, Courtney! Woo woo, Courtney!
Okay, oh my God. Obsessed with this podcast. I literally tell all my friends about it. We all wish you guys were in New York City because you seem super fun. We do the same thing with Hinge. It's a group effort. Yes. Honestly, you guys, if you are on Hinge and you have Apple or what's it, screen sharing? Airplay, do it. Show all your friends.
It's like a live dating show.
Get a bottle of wine and go through it, and your girlfriends will tell you if it's a good or bad match. Okay, so to the question, do you have any suggestions on dating Hinge during the pandemic and having interesting combos since there is not much going on? Wow, that is a very, very prevalent question because I know that we're kind of going through the same thing right now.
So repeat the last part of the question.
It was what interesting conversations to have during the pandemic since there's not much going on. Like, what
You're right. I'm not gonna lie, Courtney, I deleted my Hinge because there was not much to talk about. I know. The thing that I found with Hinge was it was sort of easy to start conversations because it's based off of this questionnaire that's on your profile so people can directly respond to one of your questions in a witty way. But I guess for interesting conversation, I mean, it is hard.
Mm-hmm. Well, she said suggestions on dating and Hinge during the pandemic and then having interesting combos. I feel like dating during the pandemic, it is a whole new ballgame. I feel like people are a bit, obviously, way more hesitant to go out. I think that you have to be a lot more creative with the type of dates you want to do.
And I want to say, from the conversations that I had on Hinge with people, it's sort of annoying, but you have to remind yourself that there's not a lot of people out there that can make interesting conversation. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, you guys, that is such a true and such a fair statement.
I'm so sorry, but Courtney, you seem like a really cool gal, and you seem like you can keep up a good conversation, right? But not a lot of people can. Mm-hmm. So it's hard to force it if it doesn't just come naturally. Because I have had some guys on Hinge that are funny and great, and we'll just say random things that make the interesting conversation so much fun. But there are a lot of people that just miss the mark big time.
I think not talking about the pandemic, don't talk about COVID, don't talk about what you're doing at work.
Yeah.
Start bringing up things that are your hobbies that are outside all that. Like, where do you guys like to travel? Ask that question. What is your favorite animal? What's your favorite drink? Play a game with each other.
So what I would do, for example, is one of my questions was, you could never beat me in blank. And I filled in chess. And it was at the time when Queen's Gambit was blowing up. So one of the best ways that people would slide in, they'd say, all right, bet, let's play a game of chess, right? And then we would just get into a conversation about that and where it started. I'd say, oh, I joined the chess club. Lie. You don't have to join the chess club, but just be weird. Like, just say funny things because you might not even meet these people.
That's true. And if you're actually planning on meeting up with this person, and you said you're from New York, so I'm trying to think of the ways that maybe you could go to Central Park and have a little coffee and walk around. I love coffee dates. I think coffee dates, people are sleeping on them.
I would love if you did a Zoom date with one of these guys. put a ring light in front of you, get real dressed up, cute, look bomb, have a glass of wine, and just talk that way.
It's perfect.
I
You
don't
know
know.
why?
I
You
think
get
that would
to
be
filter
kind of
them
cool.
out. Yeah, you
And
get
if
to
you
filter
hate
the guys
them,
out.
you just hang up.
But that's what I'm saying. You get to filter these
just
guys out.
hang
I
up.
think it's horrible when you go on this date and they suck and you're like, all right, shit, I have to be here for an hour, but I can see them over the
That's such a
screen.
good point. Let me tell you, there's a lot of weirdos out there too.
There's a lot of weirdos.
I actually got a text from a guy that I saved the contact as creepy hinge chef yesterday.
Him. He
Just be
texted.
careful. Just be careful. Yeah.
Be
Creepy
careful.
hinge chef. Be careful.
If you have a creepy hinge chef, avoid at all costs.
I wish that I could give you advice on dating, but I am simply not doing it. But my advice for conversation is sort of start as if you're already in the middle of a conversation with someone. Just sort of ignore the, hey, what's up? How are you? Where do you live? What do you do? Just start as if you guys have been talking for 2 days straight.
Yes, I completely agree with that.
It'll just accelerate. Yeah.
That's I think one thing that Sistine and I do really well at, and I think this should be taken for all dating advice, like not just during the pandemic in general. I know it sounds so simple, but like actually be yourself, your full true self off the bat. If you are nervous, honey, go walk around the block, shake it off, and literally if you're a dork, be a dork.
Because let me tell you, that's more attractive. Guys tell you that too. They don't like the games. They don't like the cool girls. They don't like, putting up a front.
Ask the weird questions. If you have something weird to ask, I would be messaging a guy. I will say the weirdest thing on it. The weirdest thing.
Because think about how many girls that they're messaging. Think about how many girls that they're messaging, right? And you want to stand out some way. All of the other girls are probably just saying cute, sort of maybe cheeky, sexy things, trying to get their attention. But if you said something so left field and just so out of nowhere, they're going to be like, wait, that's interesting. That caught my eye.
That girl's funny. Yeah. It's also
reel them in.
Confidence. Reel them in with that. So I hope everyone liked today's episode. We definitely did. I actually loved talking about self-esteem and our sister fights. It gives us a whole other side of us being vulnerable. Of course, we threw in a little dating there. We're going to try to not do that too much because we have talked about sex and boys a lot. So
we do want to hear from you guys.
So if you guys do have any topics,
thrust them our way. Smack me in the face with your topics. Love to see it. We love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode of Unwaxed. We will see you lovely lovebirds next Tuesday. Bye.
Bye.